Hello everyone, how are you guys doing today? My name is Harris and welcome back to my channel. So I'm doing Louis CK again today, and I decided I wanna jump and do Louis CK, Mark Twain and Forklift story. If you haven't heard it, it's a very funny clip and I absolutely love that clip. So without any delays, let's get to Louis CK, Mark Twain and Forklift. There we go.
Mark Twain once said, "A man who always tells the truth doesn't have to remember what he said."
True
And
that.
that's great. But Mark Twain also said there once was a big black guy named Nigger Jim. So, I don't know.
Yeah. Just because somebody said a wise
100% of
word
the
once
things he
don't mean
said
they're actually that great.
were
But still,
perfectly awesome.
Mark Twain's famous.
Really, Mark Nigger Jim? You're gonna go with? That's the best you could do. To name the got kind of a nice ring to it, Nigger Jim. Yeah, well, it's a little on the nose, isn't it? Could have called him Black Mike. I mean, just a little. Take it down one notch of the. Thanks for that, Mark. Anyway, so while we're in this area, now that I know you guys are cool.
I love it how he tests waters. Like, he literally tests everybody. So,
No.
he checks people out before blending them in. I absolutely love that style. Touch
This
base.
is a story that takes place. I'm going to tell you the story. It's kind of a messy story. It takes place over a lot of years because it started with my friend Mike, who told me this story. This happened to him back in the 90s. He was going home for Christmas, and he lives in Connecticut. He grew up in Connecticut in some shitty shit town in shitty Connecticut. And he didn't like going home. He's one of those people, he came from a place, doesn't like it anymore. And he goes back, he doesn't know how to handle his family, you know? And he came from a family of white racists that he doesn't like going home, but it's still home. So he went home for Christmas one year, and everybody's hanging out during the day, talking, having lunch, and his father and his brother both work at this factory, and his brother's grousing about his day at work, and he goes, "Yeah, and then this fucking nigger fell asleep with the forklift." And then my friend Mike heard that, and he went, "Oh, God, why am I part of this people? I hate this." And he felt bad. And then that night, he's in the kitchen, and he's having a warm milk or whatever. And I don't know why that's funny, but what that says about him. Yeah, because he's a pussy. No. He's just sort of having some time to himself, and his cousin comes downstairs. We're staying, and his cousin, he likes his cousin. That's the one person he always felt connected with. And his cousin's like, "What's wrong, man?" And he says, "Well, geez, I come home and I hoped that everything would be, normal, but then my brother says, oh, he's about the factory and this nigger fell asleep with the forklift." And his cousin goes, "Oh my God, the nigger fell asleep with the forklift?"
Wrong fucking detail. Wrong
So this is the
detail.
first part of the story, okay? So Mike tells me that story about how he's
What's
just
your
not
reaction?
listened to by anybody in his family. And then later on, I get a job writing on a TV show for Cedric the Entertainer. Great guy.
Yeah, he's funny, man.
And he had a show, and he hired a writing staff, half white writers, half black writers. So at lunchtime, we talked about race. It was just, we'd have these provocative, interesting conversations, trading notes about race, the white writers and the black writers. And I told that story. I told the whole thing about the guy, nigger the forklift, and then the cousin saying, well, the nigger the forklift. And then one of the writers, a black writer, he goes, "There's nothing worse than a nigger falling asleep at the forklift."
Nobody's getting the French
Making
voice.
it harder for the rest of us.
But they're obviously joking.
Still,
Obviously.
nobody's quite hearing what my friend was going through.
That was my reaction as well, the first time I watched it, but I absolutely love this clip. It's
And
hilarious.
then, about a year later, I'm hanging out with my friend Dino. Dino's Greek. He has no dog in the race. He doesn't care either way. He's Greek. Greeks aren't white or black. You just got a big nose and he just stands there.
Yeah, Greeks are quite beautiful.
I told Dino the whole story. I told him about the guy, the forklift, and and then the black writer. And then Dino says, "How do you fall asleep at a forklift?"
Valid question, but still missing the point. Very valid question. How do you fell asleep on a forklift? So that was Louis C.K., Mark Twain, and forklift story. I absolutely love it because you see he starts with the first bit, first part of the story, and then he hammers it down and repeatedly use the word to test everybody else because he knows once he got them on a rope, they literally will be being hypocrite if they didn't get the joke or thought they were offended or something because he starts like that. He always starts with the small provocative joke and then hammers it home, and that's the best way to do anything. It's absolutely brilliant. You test the water and then you go straight in. That's how he does it, and I absolutely love it. And the whole story is absolutely brilliant the way he tells it. I love it. I hope you enjoyed it. I will be doing more Louis C.K., so keep an eye on it. Until then, I'll see you guys later. Oh, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.